Hi there, this is Miss Kline. I really wanted to share one of my favorite read-alouds, and it's written about a girl named Greta, and she's a climate activist, and she's known all over the world for what she's done. It's called Our House is on Fire by Jeanette Winter. Greta Thunberg's call to save the planet. There's a little quote here. It says, "You are never too small to make a difference," by Greta Thunberg. Greta is a quiet girl who led a quiet life in the city of Stockholm. Her dog, Roxy, was her friend. All my life, I've been invisible. The invisible girl in the back who doesn't say anything. In school, she felt alone. Then, one day, Greta's teacher talked to the class about climate, about how our planet is getting warmer, about how the polar ice is melting, about how animals' lives are threatened, and ours too. That's when Greta's life changed. She read for hours and watched film after film about our warming world. Greta could think about only one thing for a long, long time. She saw ice melting into the sea, disappearing. She saw mighty winds and torrential rains howling across the land. She saw coral reefs deep down in the sea, pale as ghosts, bleached by the warming waters. Greta saw living creatures everywhere, struggling to stay alive. Greta saw floodwaters covering houses and people and animals. She saw cities swallowed under rising oceans. Here you can see a city swallowed by the ocean. She saw the smoldering sun scorch the earth, leaving it bone dry. She saw blazing wildfires racing through the forests. Ooh, that reminds me of what's happening in California at this time. Our house is on fire. Greta became sad, thinking about the climate all the time. She barely ate or spoke. Those pictures were stuck in my mind. The sad days went on for a long time, each day more unhappy than the next. There might not be a world to live in when she grows up. What use is school without a future? What can I do? She wondered. It's a great question. Let's see what she does. Greta decided to go on strike from school for the climate. Her parents understood. Greta skipped school one Friday and took her poster, "School Strike for Climate," to the Parliament building to sit on strike. She hoped lawmakers would see her. People walked past, too busy to notice. Greta was invisible there too. She was at the Parliament building every Friday, even in the rain. Then, word of her strike began to spread. Little by little, other school strikers joined her. On Fridays, Stockholm schools were a bit empty. Here, they're even protesting on strike in the snow. More people started noticing the child strikers, and word spread throughout cyberspace about the Friday school strikes. Here you can see people spreading the word in all different languages. Children started striking everywhere. If grown-ups won't act to save the planet, children will. So all over the world, people are striking, young children. The quiet girl who always felt invisible was asked to speak to very important people at the United Nations climate talks in Poland. Greta only spoke when she thought it was necessary. You say you love your children above all else, and yet you are stealing their future in front of their very eyes. We need to keep the fossil fuels in the ground. The quiet girl was invited to speak to important people at the World Economic Forum. You say you love your children above all else, and yet you are stealing their future in front of their very eyes. We need to keep fossil fuels in the ground. The quiet girl who was invited to speak to important people at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. It was necessary to speak. I don't want you to be hopeful. I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day. I want you to act as if the house was on fire, because it is. Greta's protests all alone sparked a worldwide children's march. Her quiet voice, joined by thousands of voices, became a roar. Can you hear us? This is with all of the children's signs. Denial is not a policy. Our future is in your hands. It's our future. What will you do? I really hope you enjoyed this read aloud. This is one of my favorites that I've shared with my students, and since then, they've even written speeches about climate change, because they know even though they're just third graders, they can really make a difference. I hope you enjoy your holiday break. Thank you.